Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Inkvent Day 3. Imagine, 3 days in already. It's time to look what's in the Inkvent calendar for today. I'm going to move it up because the door's a bit lower down today. Here we go, day number 3. Let's dig on in. So we're opening up. And can I get into it? It doesn't want to come out. Let me just try. There we go. I swashed the bottom up a bit. This one really does not want to come out of its hole. There we go. Ash. Inkvent Day 3 is ash. Let me just clear that off. So if we look at this, let's turn it around. It's another standard ink. On the other side again, just plain. I'm going to take the plastic off and then we'll do some swatching. So here we go, ash. What colour do we think this is going to be? Why not drop a comment down below. What colour do you think ash will be? I know for me what I think it will come out as, but we'll see in a minute. Just shaking up the bottle a bit. There we go. I'll even do it on camera today. Pop that up at the top and I'll fetch in my swatch card. So again, colouring card. Pop that there. Let's take the lid off the ink. First tool we're going to use, it's that Pilot Parallels, so we can get the big bulk of the swatch on there. Again, because it didn't look like there was much ink on there. Find out in a second if there is. Oh, there we go. So at the moment, as I'm putting this on, it seems to be like a very pale greeny grey. It looks like quite a, I'm going to call it a liquidy type ink. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Unsaturated, maybe. That might be the right word. I'm not very good with all these terms. I like to say what I see rather than use the right words. Let's do one final dip and a single swipe down the side. Yeah, it's definitely grey. And as I say, to me, it looks more on the green side of grey. I like it. Earl Grey, that's one of my favourite grey colours. But this, yeah, could actually supplant that. Now, as it's drying on this card, it's losing that green tint, so it's going more of a grey colour. I'm going to put it to one side so it can fully dry. There we go. So whilst it's drying, we'll do some writing. We move the ink right up to the top so we've got plenty of room to fetch the book in. So this is an endless recorder notepad. There's the front of it. It's 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. Just realised I didn't write the name of the ink on the card, so let's fetch that back in. We'll write the name of the ink, then we'll do our writing. So we have got here Diamine Inkvent 2021. This is day 3, ash. Now, pop that to one side. The pen I'm using is a Serendipity dip pen, and it's got a broad Yoho nib. Let's do our writing now in here. So, we're going to go day 3, ash. Nice simple name, isn't it? Our drying times, so immediate. Very, I'm going to say pale. 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Wow, still really wet, isn't it? I'm going to have to go on to the next line for 1 minute. There we go. After a minute, look at that. It's still quite wet, isn't it? So, although it's very unsaturated, it is half wet. But also we can see, I'm just going to point this out, it is drying darker. I'm going to dip the pen one more time and write a sentence. There we go. Came out a lot darker than when I was writing, but I can already see that green shade is going as it dries towards the grey. So I'll pop this notepad to one side as well to let that dry. Let me now get rid of the ink bottle as well, because knowing clumsy Gary, he'll knock it and it'll go all over the place. Going to fetch in my chocolate advent calendar. Here we are, Baby Yoda. And number 3, well, it's covering up one of his eyes. So let's see if I can get this all out in one go. No, There we go. There's the door open. Ugh, it's come off. Cutest bounty in the galaxy. Let's get into the silver. Here's the chocolate. There we go. Pop that to one side to eat later on. And move that out of the way. Let's fetch in the bag. So this is a collection my wife's been doing for me. For those that this is your first video you're seeing, we didn't know about the Inkvent calendar at the start of the year. So my wife has been collecting stuff all through the year and I'm including it in this video because it also gives time for the ink to dry. So what have we got in here? Well, it doesn't feel like much. Ah, here we go. Found it right down near the bottom. So in here, we've got some Herban and it's blotting paper. It's one of the things I always like to have when I've got my notepads is I like to have a couple of sheets of blotting paper in there. Now, yes, I know they'll last for a long time, but to be honest, it's like getting hen's teeth trying to get blotting paper from time to time. So this is going to come really handy. Don't need it immediately, but it's going to be there. So as soon as I do need it, I can pull it out and start using it. So let's get that off to one side. I'll fetch back in that Tomoe River paper. Here we go. So nice grey colour, it's dried really nice. I'll fetch in the card as well. Here's the card. I like this, it's grey, it's a nice grey. When it said ash, that's what I was expecting as a grey colour. Move that more up to the middle. So what have I found to compare it against? Well, I've got Diamine Earl Grey, definitely darker. And to my eye, looks a little bit more, I'm going to say purple rather than that grey. Next one, Lamy Benitoite. I know I've mostly mangled that. Definitely a lot on the bluer side. And same with this one, Ancient Song, Fisherman's Song. Now the two other greys I've got to fetch in, I've got Colourverse Grey, which is a lot less saturated, so it's a lot lighter. And finally, I'll pop it underneath there, Lamy Agate or Lamy Agate, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one either. Again, it's a bit lighter, but when we look at the single swipe, it actually looks fairly close. So this is Diamine Inkvent day number 3, Ash. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up. What do you think to this colour? Did you guess that it would be a grey? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we'll be looking at Diamine Inkvent day number 4.